Hello everybody, it is me, Real American Politics, back again with a new video. And today, we have to take a look at 2024 and potential scenarios for 2024 because it's over. Guys, I hate to break this to you guys, but this election was stolen, but we'll be back in 2024. But today, I wanted to take a look at a possible 2024 scenario between Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, and the quote-unquote vice president, Kamala Harris, who's really going to be the president within like a week of Biden's term. Let's be real here. Biden's not going to last a full term. Kamala will be the Democrat nominee in 2024 as of now. And I wanted to do a map between Kamala Harris versus Ron DeSantis because this would kind of throw everything backwards, to say the least. This election would just burn the entirety of everything. Because yes, there may be people that say, oh, I actually kind of like Kamala Harris. When they realize that Kamala Harris will do absolutely nothing, is not a good person policy-wise at all, they're going to think twice on it. And you look at the favorability ratings on Kamala Harris, and it's not good, to say the least, for certain groups. Yes, it's incredibly high with maybe Latino voters, but that's influenced by California. So you take that out, and her favorability rating stinks. You actually look at the white non-college vote in places like Wisconsin, Michigan, etc. You think her favorability is bad now with them? Her approval rate will be down the tanks, to say the least. So, guys, it's not gonna it's gonna be a win for Republicans in 2024. Let's be real here. Kamala Harris, I don't believe would win, and I want to go through a map of what the 2024 election would look like. And we're going to start on the West Coast or make our way east. So the safe states would, of course, be Washington, Oregon, California. Oregon could get a bit tighter, but not going to be within 10. Hawaii would be safe. Illinois, this is a very interesting state. You look at Kamala Harris's favorability rating with blacks, it's only like 66%. And that's not that good. But I still think it would go to Kamala Harris by at least 10, realistically. Realistically, probably by something around 15. So it'd still be safe Democrat. DC, Maryland, of course, the rest of Swamp, the Northeast, but of course, all be safe. Like, guys, no, we're not flipping New Jersey. For the governor race, maybe we could do something with that, but presidential, not happening. And that is the safe Democrat states. For the safe Republican states, Alaska, Utah, Idaho, the Great Plains, all of Nebraska except Nebraska's second, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas would be safe. People would be mad at me for this, but look at the Latino votes and look at Ron DeSantis. DeSantis would do a bit better, if not about the same as Trump did with Latino voters across the board, but he would do significantly better with the college-educated vote. And the fact that Kamala Harris only had like a 46% favorability rating with them, it's not going to go well. It would shift Texas to a 10-point win for DeSantis. It would keep Texas safe Republican for another decade. So, guys, it's not going to be competitive in 2024 if the Republicans run a decent candidate. Iowa and Ohio are safe. Guys, it's over. Those two are not the purple states anymore, right? Stop with this nonsense. Even Nate Silvers, you have to admit, those two are basically safe states. Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Missouri, all of the Deep South would be safe Republican. And I would see Maine second, possibly safe Republican, because Harris isn't really that populist candidate. You would need to do good up there, or pretending to be a populist like Biden did. So yeah, this would be the competitive / semi-competitive map, and already DeSantis already has a big edge, and yeah. So we got to work our way from likely states to lean states to tilt states. For the likely Republican states, I'm going to be firm on this. I believe Florida would be a likely Republican. DeSantis would win by at least 5 to 6. Harris won't even campaign there. Guys, they're not going to... Florida's gone for the Democrats. Let's be realistic here. As a state they may campaign there for a House race. They're not going to campaign there for a presidential race. And that's about it for the likely Republican states. And that may not seem like a lot, but Florida being likely Republican, you can already tell where this is going. For the Democrats, the likely states would be Virginia. The northern suburbs would just love Harris for no odd reason, because she is the swamp. She is the pure swamp. And Maine's first would be a likely Democrat. So that's pretty much it for the likely Democrat states. Again, not that much for Harris, but what do you expect? It's Harris. Like, Harris is such just a bad candidate overall. Just no. So that's only 2 districts or states that would be likely Democrat. For the lean states, I know people are going to hate me for this, but I do think Nevada, Georgia, North Carolina, and the state of Wisconsin would all be lean Republican. Now, people may say I'm crazy for saying this, but hear me out. Nevada, they're not going to vote for Harris. A lot of them are California implants who don't actually vote Democrat. A lot of them actually surprisingly vote more Republican in Nevada. And Nevada is a trending Republican state. Slowly but surely, it is trending Republican. So Nevada, within a decade, is probably going to be a tilt Republican state anyways. And the fact that DeSantis, I do believe, would do a bit better with the Latino votes there. A lot better with the traditional Republicans. Like in Reno, there's a lot of those college-educated voters that didn't really like Trump, but probably would vote for DeSantis a bit more. And that would flip Nevada just enough to around a 1.5, 2-point win for DeSantis. Wisconsin, you just account for him doing significantly better in the WOW counties. That's a 2-point win for DeSantis. North Carolina is slowly trending Republican, probably by a 4-point win for DeSantis. Georgia, Kamala Harris is hated by people that are black. It would just shift it to a 3 or 4-point win Republican. So, guys, it's just, that would be what it is. These are the lean Republican states. Yes, it's hurting my brain that this is what the map would look like, but you look at the swings, the trends, and this is what it's pointing to if it's DeSantis. Now, for the lean Democrat states, it would be Colorado, Maine at large, and New Mexico. New Mexico is an interesting case. Harris probably won by 4. There's a lot of Latino voters that only vote based on one policy alone, and that's healthcare. But then when they realize that Kamala Harris supports a late-term abortion, all that stuff, and if DeSantis can campaign it correctly, it would swing the state of New Mexico 5 points Republican. There's a lot of people that are pro-life there, but the Republicans never campaign on that ever in New Mexico for no other reason other than God knows why. And if Republicans get a real healthcare plan, which I do think they will, that would definitely swing a 5-point swing. So Harris would still win it by 4 to 5, but not by the near safe margin or safe margin like we usually come to expect out of New Mexico. Colorado, there's a lot of Latinos there. Again, it's the same thing where DeSantis would do a little bit better in the Denver area, and that would just barely be enough to push it to a lean margin. Actually, I'm going to put it likely. That's more of an extreme swing just for the Denver swings. So I'm going to say it's still a 6-7 point win for Harris, but it does shift a little bit back more Republican. Maine at large would get a bit closer, but still not enough in all likelihood. And forgot to do that. There we go. It's supposed to be likely Republican, my bad. So there we go. These are the lean Republican and Democrat states. Now for the tilt states, these are the actual truly competitive states. Don't get me wrong, Arizona will go Republican. You look at the fact that a lot of the voters in Arizona, they truly got screwed over. You hear that they had these Sharpie crap that happened in Arizona. You had a lot of shenanigans happen in Arizona. And really with Harris, she would not do good there at all. So I still think it would be a 1.5 point win for DeSantis there. There's a lot of those establishment shills in Arizona who would just vote for DeSantis way more than Trump. Because DeSantis really doesn't have the rhetoric as Trump does. So that alone would shift the Republican, and that gives DeSantis the win, but like I said, that's not a surprise. Nebraska's second would be Republican. It would shift back Republican. They're going to redistrict it. They're going to make it a lot more Republican, so it doesn't happen again where it did. And the next state is Minnesota. I think it would be tilt Democrat to lean Democrat, but as of now, I think DeSantis could make it very close. Within a 0.5 point. But he needs to somehow get a lot of those northern voters up on board. If he could do that, flip a lot of those Iron Range counties, he would win Minnesota. But as of now, I don't really see it happening. Michigan would be tilt Republican. Harris would do awful with that vote group in Michigan. A lot of black voters in Detroit, they're not going to vote for Harris. They barely came out for Biden, but the magical ballots came in that saved them. You actually look at it, black turnout was pretty bad for the actual voters. So, Michigan would be tilt Republican. Pennsylvania would be tilt Republican. Kind of same thing with the Philly stuff, but also just most of the states trending Republican anyways. And New Hampshire would be tilt Democrat. It is slowly trending Democrat, so I know DeSantis is a good candidate, but I just think that that's too far of a stretch to say New Hampshire would flip. But yeah, so this would be most likely, as of now, the current 2024 map. If Harris becomes the president, which she probably will, and becomes Democrat nominee in 2024. And if DeSantis runs. And this is my personal opinion. I think DeSantis would win. He's a pretty good candidate. And yes, hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, hit the like button down below. Subscribe. Share with your friends. Hit that little bell. And yes, thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys in the next stream, video, or whatever. God bless you all. And we'll see you guys next time.